This is American Dumpster Fire.
Out there's a serious problem in the world. By the way, you're on American Dumpster Fire right now, and once again,
singular.
Once again, we are looking at another dumpster fire in America, and that is apparently straight white males are being oppressed in this country.
Mm-hmm. Mostly white men, from what I saw.
I'm glad someone's finally noticed.
Conservative, Christian,
men.
Straight white males are being oppressed.
And it's about time someone recognizes this.
They're the true victims here.
If only everybody would just bow down to the superiority already. And
there are obviously going to be some bigots on that side of the fence, and probably a lot. But I think this is actually an issue of privilege where they don't understand. There's a tendency that when you come from such a secure place as this, that anybody else who doesn't have the same position is in a negative position. And you think of yourself as a neutral position. So that whenever somebody said, you don't see that you're actually above. You're in a better position, that you have a leg up, because they work for things and
the
that
privileged
and they don't
do not see their privilege.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yes, in fact, the privileged get quite upset when you use the word privilege.
Right, and it's because they have hardships of their own in their own lives and whatever.
Sure, and they cannot.
And they feel that
they
devalues
cannot grasp the concept of the fact
that they
that
do
just
have
because you have problems doesn't mean. The bottom line is you don't have problems because of this. You don't fear losing your job or facing discrimination because you're straight. You have privilege. That's why you don't need a fucking parade, you idiots.
Oh God, it's such a ridiculous
I
concept.
honestly don't care if they have a parade. It's comedy.
It was comedy, and
fucking
also
hilarious.
How better to know exactly who to never ever sleep with than the parade of men walking
They
down
love to
Boston.
advertise it. They love to advertise it.
I think it's important to bear in mind there's two kinds of parades. You have
pity parade.
Well, like say St. Patrick's Day. There's a lot of Irish people out there with a little bit or a whole lot of Irish in them, and there's a lot of drunk people who go, screw it, it's a day to drink.
Okay.
That's a pride day.
Irish supporters, if you will.
But the thing is that, no, they're not actually looking for support. They're just happy in their Irishness.
Yeah, but the problem is...
Hold on.
Okay,
I'm saying there's two kinds of parades.
Okay.
There's ones where you're celebrating, and another one where you're trying to draw attention to your position, where you're actually going, hey, we exist, and we deserve just the minimal level of equality, for fuck's sake.
Okay, well, then let's analyze this. Did you have something to add to it?
Straight people don't need a parade.
My point, well, it doesn't even
it's
matter.
The norm.
I don't
you know
care.
what? If it was a celebration of your sexuality, whatever, nobody would give a shit. But the problem is that this parade turned into everything that everybody knew that it was going to be. It was a parade of racism and homophobia.
How big was this? I mean, did they have, 30 people?
It wasn't huge, to be honest.
That's what they've been saying about them for a long time.
Yeah, not even close. But it was a bunch of white men marching down the street. Like literally, I think
with
I saw
mullets, lots of mullets.
Three women, and they had signs, and they were chanting like homophobic things, and I mean it was literally nothing but white men.
I don't understand this reaction, because it's like, okay, someone who wants to live their own life in a way that disagrees with your religion or belief structure, fine, whatever. But they're doing it by themselves.
But
okay,
what were they chanting though? Let me stop this for a second. Were they like, "We're here, we're hetero, everybody knows already, who cares"?
They were carrying signs that said like "Make normalcy normal again." There were like somewhat racist signs, if I remember.
Big surprise.
Yeah, different people were saying different things.
I mean, it looked like a Dog
I
the
saw
Bounty
little-
Hunter lookalike contest.
Yeah, I
this-
saw little bits and pieces of things that people were like, the counter protesters were posting video on Twitter of like, hey, look at these idiots, you know? But I mean, that's the thing, is that it turned into everything that we knew that it was going to be. It was basically a Trump rally.
But oh my God, seriously.
Well, see, the thing I don't understand is it's 2019, okay? This is not the early 80s where gay people were in the closet and occasionally came out in music and cinema.
The 80s was more gay friendly than today is.
Yeah, but it was kind of
It wasn't okay to
it
come
was-
out of the closet,
it was
but
a don't
everybody
ask,
was
don't
dressing
tell.
like it, right?
But yeah, but yeah, you have Liberace, Boy George. And,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I think I even wore sequins in the 80s. I mean,
wow.
So,
But what I'm saying is, oh God, I've totally lost the thread. Thank you for that. I pictured you in
imagining the sequence. Yeah,
It
you're
just-
welcome.
Yeah, man.
I don't know where that was going either.
I-
It's a different time.
Fucking
I
glitter.
mean.
It just. Oh yeah, it's the whole idea is like, okay, fine, it disagrees with your beliefs or whatever, but it's not infectious.
Nobody.
You don't catch gay, so it's not like they're going to corrupt your children. Okay, they're.
Nobody should ever have to be concerned with your beliefs.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I don't
is
care what they are.
So I don't understand
No.
why
Nobody
they're bothered.
gives a shit.
These people,
Why?
These people
What
think
other
it's a
people do?
choice. They literally think it's a choice.
I know they do,
But
but
it's
they
a
also
choi-
think the world is
attracted to.
flat.
What an actual choice is to be an asshole.
Exactly.
So, and they
I'm
have
not in a position-
chosen
And even that's the
to
point.
be said
even
asshole.
if it was a choice, which it's not, but even if it was,
Who
it
gives a
doesn't
crap?
affect you at all. Quit constantly thinking about other
Well-
people having sex and get yourself a
All right.
Okay,
life.
so
let's say what everybody should be saying in the room, right? These are incels.
It was the incel parade.
These
I
are
don't think
these are
there's
guys
any-
who can't get
I
laid
think
and think they're
that
entitled to get
That was
laid.
the term that I saw more than anything else during the parade.
Really?
Every single video was tagged with "It's the INCELEBRATION."
Yeah. I saw in celebration 2019,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh yes, it is. This is a
Right.
bunch of guys who can't get laid, who think they're entitled to get laid, and and somehow think that gay people are at fault.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like, oh, jeez.
Like,
How is
women
that
will-
one thing equal the other? How does one equal the other at all?
I don't know.
The fact that if any woman,
Why do they think
no.
gay? You know,
I have
Guess
Why-
what, guys? It's your personality that's keeping them away.
I mean,
Indeed.
you hear arguments where they think like a gay marriage will lead to bestiality. Like, how? How do you make this correlation?
Mind you, in the states with the harshest anti-gay laws and everything like that,
Bestiality's legal.
bestiality's legal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Uh,
that's actually true.
So.
Although
and-
I've heard we recently passed a law against that
That's
locally.
oh,
oh my
okay.
lord.
Well, that's good to know. I mean,
You know.
So
For-
many Saturday plans ruined.
yeah. Sorry, Jim Jordan. You can't pork the pigs anymore.
Oh lordy.
Stop screwing the livestock, please.
But the other argument, okay, so you got like, oh, you're corrupting the youth. The other argument is like, well, they're going to go to hell. Let them.
Yeah, who cares?
Why do you care where people go? What they do? I mean, I just.
They don't. They're just trying to control people.
Yeah,
I-
mind your
and
own
why?
fucking business.
That's
How's
the
that?
thing.
That is the biggest thing. Mind your own fucking business. You don't
It's
have to like it. It
ridiculous.
has nothing to
Well,
do
I've
with
talked
you.
to some of these people.
And
Though,
my
I've talked to
favorite-
them. They're scared.
My favorite thing is that we will constantly equate any kind of homosexuality, anything within the spectrum of LGBTQ, they automatically equate it with sex.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why?
Because they don't understand
There can
love
be
and they don't
A
understand.
16-year-old virgin boy who's gay, that he has never had sex. Like, why are you still? And like, they'll see gay people holding hands, and my kid's here. What the fuck does that have to do
Right,
with
right.
anything?
Yeah.
Like, you're the one making it weird. You're the one who equates this to sex. Like, get your mind out of the gutter.
They can't. They can't separate sex and love. They can't separate the two things. They don't
They
understand
probably
that
don't
they are
understand
not
what
the same
love
thing.
is.
Well, if they
That-
are.
that's the other thing is that I don't. I think a lot of people in the world can't grasp love, right? I mean, because when you love somebody, it's really about the person you love, and it's not about you. And I don't
Right.
think that any of these guys understand that at all. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. And then I don't know. You can be in love with somebody and not have sex with them. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's just not the same thing.
I don't know.
Like,
That's confusing to me.
It doesn't matter. Like,
I mean,
saw
hey,
somebody
great
attack
bonus, but nobody owes you shit.
somebody.
No, I don't think anyone owes me anything,
No,
but I
but
can't imagine a relationship without sex.
Somebody attacked a commercial. There was like two men sitting by a child who was eating. They weren't touching in any way. And somebody posted this whole thing about this is disgusting and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, these two men could be brothers. They could be
Right.
lovers. They could be literally anything. You're the one who's jumping to sex in a freaking commercial, you big weirdo.
Right.
You know,
Now,
like,
if this really was an incel parade, wouldn't they be happy that more straight women are freed up?
You would think, but the problem is, I think in their
Wait,
puny
what?
minds.
Well, if
There are
if
gay
there's gay
women.
people, well, of course there are.
But I think
my
in their
point is
puny
that
minds-
they would.
That they're not getting laid, so it's somebody's fault.
Yes, it's
Never their
theirs.
own. Never their own.
it's the fact
It
that
can't
they
be.
continue to
Can't be.
speak
Mama
would be
s-
my guess.
Mama says I'm special.
Not in a good way, honey.
You know, like,
I just yeah.
they can't accept responsibility
Okay,
for who
so
they
I
are.
guess what the organizers had said. What was the terminology they
There's
used?
organizers. I just thought it was a
There
bunch
was
of idiots who got
three-
together on a street.
3 Republicans put this together. I know you're shocked. 3 white men put this together, and they said they were the. What was the wording? Was it repressed majority or something like that?
Well, repressed by what? By people who don't want to talk to them? Because I'll tell you what a straight pride parade should be. Going to the bar on Saturday. You don't need to go and march down a street. Just go outside. I
I'm
mean,
sorry. Here's my
yeah,
thing.
I don't know.
Pride
talk to humans.
was born of this concept of, of overcoming oppression,
Right.
It was started by women of color, trans women of color, right, in Stonewall.
Yeah,
It was protests. It was started as protests, and so people are still trying to live their freaking lives, and like it's still not they're still fighting these things. There's still discrimination. There's still oppression. There's still, I mean, wasn't the government just trying to change the laws to say
Yeah.
that your employer can fire you
There's-
for being
there's all-
gay?
it gets
Like,
better
I think
every
this
day with Trump.
literally just changed.
really?
Yes.
Locally or nationally?
That was
I'm pretty
sarcasm,
sure
by the
it's
way.
federal.
Nothing gets better under Trump. I just want to make sure everybody understands that was being sarcastic.
He's trying to repeal the protections on people in the workplace and decided that your employer can fire you.
Well,
But
as I
I just-
understand, they're not even that comprehensive of.
No,
They weren't very
they're
protected to
not.
begin with.
And
But
I think that
think it's
Betsy
orientation
even
and
had a hand in rolling back protections
Identity.
on trans and
I don't understand.
gay people in schools.
I don't understand the hate at all. I don't understand the anger and the vitriol and any of this
If
stuff.
it doesn't affect you,
I don't
then
get
it doesn't
I
affect
just,
you.
I just don't understand, like, why they are like this. I don't understand why these right wingers, like, they just can't fucking leave other
because
people to
they
live
are
their lives.
determined to
Like, what is
control
wrong with them?
everybody, and I think that there's literally something missing in them that
A
makes
gene,
them try to.
a chromosome.
I
Like-
don't know. I often think, and I can't remember if this is a paraphrase, but I swear it comes from a founding father. Maybe someone can help me with this. But it was the whole idea of my rights end when they infringe on your rights.
Right.
Right.
My rights end at your nose.
Right. So when they're constantly talking about the founding fathers and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and they're flag waving,
They're full of shit.
and it's like you don't have the right to affect other people's freedoms.
Right.
Well, here's the thing.
You
I
can
got
be pissy about
I
it,
got way
but
off track.
No Republican is actually about
Do that in
freedom.
your house.
They are
They're
all
not
authoritarians.
oppressive. Yes, they're very oppressive. No, but my point was that with the Stonewall protests and everything like that is that this started out of a need to fight for their right to exist, which straight people have literally never ever
Right.
had to do.
I know. I have never heard of a straight person
You
getting
have
beaten to
never
death for
been
being straight.
discriminated against for being straight.
Yeah, I
have
grew up
not.
hearing about my friends being hung for
Wow.
being
People
gay.
people are still to this day killed all the time just for being
There,
trans.
it literally
for
just
being
happened.
gay.
It literally
Oh my
just
God.
happened in July.
2016,
Wow.
when the freaking elections were going on, I kept seeing article after article about people who were getting attacked just for being gay, for going out on a date with somebody of the same gender.
I stand by my statement that right wingers are terrorists.
I had so much trouble imagining that that's still going on, and yet at the
You
same
know
time,
what?
it's
Before
not that surprising.
2016, I would have told you that, we were moving towards improvement.
Oh,
2016 hit, no, they came out of the fucking woodwork.
Yeah, no, Republicans
Well,
are ruining America.
sadly, we see this trend in politics that we go Democrat, we go Republican, we go a little more liberal, a little more conservative. We swing backward and forward, but we've been swinging more wildly. The pendulum's getting faster. It's going crazy.
Because-
it's going to
okay.
break off the freaking.
When an animal's in its death throes, it gets erratic. Okay, and the right wing is in its death throes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the nation's in danger of itself.
Well, maybe a bit of that too. The fact of the matter is, they would take us down with them if they could, and we can't allow that. But the fact is that the Republicans are. They know the party is about to collapse.
Well, if there was
and they're
actual
going
equal
to do,
weights by,
they will do anything in their
vote.
power to stop that from happening.
Or at least profit as much
Regardless
as they
of-
can before it does.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We'll just
That's
empty
why
the
we
cookie jar.
basically sold out the government these past couple of years.
Sure.
Like, it's just been handed over on a silver tray.
Well, and they've look at what's going on. I mean, you got McConnell getting elected with what is his approval rating, like 2%.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's all electoral college and gerrymandering.
Wait, are
it's
you
the only
serious?
reason that party
It's
still exists.
ridiculously. It's not high enough to get elected, but
How
he
the
keeps
fuck
getting
is he?
elected. They're buying votes. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
He has
Okay,
every
so
time
I
you
always
see-
brushed it off as, well, it's Kentucky. But
no,
seriously?
it's corruption. It's corruption.
Wow.
There's a reason they call him Moscow Mitch.
No, I know
Yeah, but
that.
you
I
gotta
knew
remember,
oh, it's obvious he's
Kentucky
corrupt.
is as north as you can get and still be south.
Dude,
I know,
I
Ohio's
don't
not
know.
much better.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been to southern Ohio?
Well, I mean, sure, it's a border. I mean, in fairness.
In fact, in Ohio, I used to feel like it was just like the southern parts of Ohio. Now, I feel like if you leave Cleveland or Columbus,
Ohio
Watch
State
your
motto
mouth.
has
yeah,
become
any of the metropolises, you go hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah.
Ohio State motto
Yeah.
has become less teeth, more cousins. Just saying.
It's so exhausting. It's just.
great stuff. Anyway,
Uh,
we'll put it on a bumper sticker.
Less teeth, more cousins.
Welcome to Ohio.
One of
we're
our
actually. We're going through a bit of a revitalization. I mean,
Ohio?
yes.
No, it's a shithole.
Oh, God. We've been the butt of jokes for so very
Ooh,
long.
and
No, you know
deservedly.
what though? Like this area, when I see like the voting elections, like in this little area, I'm like, okay, well that's not bad. But like seriously, the state used to be, I don't know, on the verge.
Purple?
I think. Yeah, purple.
Yeah, no,
and
we're a
now,
red state now.
Yeah,
I
now
know
we've
we
been
have-
We've got
taken over.
scum in office. I mean, freaking Mike DeWine is our governor. He's a scumbag. Jim Jordan, scumbag.
Well,
If
if
it
like you're
was-
paying attention to local politics, yeah.
These
I
are all
mean, it's
scumbags. We are
always
run
been
by
a little-
Dude,
scumbags.
Jim Jordan, yeah. Come
Jim
on,
Jordan's
man.
a piece of shit. He needs to
Yeah.
go. So, and like, I don't know. I can't wait to see his ass unseated. I will be laughing my ass off. I hope I'm there. I want to get tickets to like get in there and laugh at him. And hopefully they'll send him to jail for, like not doing anything when those kids were getting molested. So
That would be awesome. He deserves to be in jail.
he's a piece of shit. So, yeah, and I don't know. I guess I use the term interchangeably, right? Because I mean, Republican incel. There's really not much of a difference.
I don't know. See, here's my thing: is that I get that the lower rungs of this party are either some are clinging to a past version of the party, and then some are just easily misled.
That it's a fantasy,
However,
though.
Well, you
Well,
also have
that's
your
great.
extremist breakoff types like the Tea Party, which is pretty light these days compared to what's going on now with
I mean,
Nazis and
whatever.
everything else.
Whatever.
It's distilled
The
Whatever
thing
you-
is, I
whatever
don't
you
think there
name
is a
it.
party. I think
But
it's a
my point
conglomerate
is,
of
like,
psychos.
what are these people at the top of this party doing? They're like
Emptying
Getting
your,
everything
Eagerly-
passed that they ever
emptying
wanted.
your
yeah,
pockets.
but they're
They are
eagerly
emptying.
destroying everything.
It's all about money.
They're destroying the country. They're destroying the
The
planet.
median age of
Like,
a
what
politician's
are
got to
they
be, what,
doing?
60?
Oh no, not a Republican.
So
They
you're
got to be
just
in their
saying they're
80s.
going
I
to
said
destroy
median.
the planet and be dead before it's a problem?
Yeah, they don't give a crap.
I think Ocasio throws
What
that
about their
number off.
kids?
I mean,
I mean, if you've seen the politics, the way they vote, the things they care about, how much they lie, the way they dodge a question with a straight face and talk for 5 minutes about crap you never even asked them about, and you think for a minute they give
Oh
a
my
crap
God.
about their family and
I
descendants.
just saw Barr
These
doing
are
that.
sociopaths.
It's
like
true.
Barr literally getting asked a question and then completely not answering it in any way, shape, or form. And then
Right.
like he repeats himself like 3 times, like that somehow
Well, that's how you
answers
brainwash
the
somebody.
question, and it's just like, but you didn't actually say anything.
Right.
So.
And that's the thing, is that, like, there's a lot of followers who will,
Oh no, they're gullible as shit.
just roll with that. And,
But
okay.
there's also people who are like, they look at various evil politicians and be like, well, they're useful for my agenda. And
Yeah.
they're willing to trade 30 bad issues for one issue that they think is a good idea.
I hate and fear everybody
unfortunately,
else, so I'm
those
going to pay them
issues
to
are-
get it done. you
Yeah,
know?
those issues, well, they're furthering racism and homophobia,
Right.
so I'm for them.
Or they, they'll lower the taxes in a tax bracket I'll never achieve, but if
I
I
know.
someday could win the lottery, these people drive me nuts.
Rich people shouldn't have to pay their
You
fair
are
share.
too
I could be
poor to
rich
be this
someday.
They're
stupid.
voting against their best interest,
Oh
and
my
they're just
God.
too gullible to understand.
And I don't want to just demonize a whole grouping of people, because that's the surest way to turn them off, is just call them stupid cousin fuckers. But and that's basically what we've done with this episode. I hate to say it, but we have.
But they're stupid cousin fuckers.
A lot.
I don't know what
A
you want
lot.
to tell.
But if you're listening to this,
no. If they're
it
still,
might not be you. I'm hoping
if
it's
you're
not
still
you.
a Republican
I hope you can learn.
at this point, no. If you're still a Republican at this point, that's all there is left. They're stupid cousin fuckers. That's all there is to it.
No, that's what I was saying, is that there's still some people who did not vote for Trump who were holding on to, like, a piece of the old party.
Yeah,
Hoping-
no. But the other
waiting
one's
for the
left.
next guy who won't even be in. I mean, you were just talking. Loki was just talking about how
Let's
he's going to
discuss
run
that.
unopposed. There's no
Let's discuss
primaries.
it. Primaries not...
Yep. Yeah, they're they're talking about getting rid of the primaries so that nobody can run against Trump. Yeah. Yeah.
That is
that's some authoritarian ass
horrifying.
shit.
I know it sounds
That
screwed up, but technically
is
the party system
horrifying.
They're
is
allowed to
not,
do it. Yes, they
is
don't
not a
have to-
governmental system. It's
Right.
a private corporation.
They're a corporation. Yeah.
and they are allowed to make any rule they want.
No corporation
However,
should be involved in the election process.
right, we've been
Not
sold this
ever.
bill of goods
This
that is
whole- you know
douchebag
what?
shit sandwich, and that's our choices.
Well, we got to do it with
But
the
it was
party
also
system.
the DNC that fucked us over last time.
Oh, yeah?
They should both be gone.
Because Bernie was totally
Agreed.
the elected. Anybody who think that Hillary actually won that,
No, bullshit. They were going to choose her no
Careful.
matter what.
There's a lot of Democrats salty at the wrong person of that one.
What do you mean?
A lot of people still bitter
Oh,
against
mad
Bernie.
at Bernie?
Yeah.
No, the DNC
Wait.
is completely
Oh,
why
yeah.
would
at
you be
fault.
mad at Bernie for losing?
Oh,
because
they
he
think you
supported
spoiled
Hillary once they chose her. The problem is that
No. Some people think that he drew votes away from Hillary.
You can't draw it away. It was a primary.
he didn't.
When
he
she
didn't
won-
run as
There
an
are people
independent.
who would
when she
rather vote
won-
for Harambe than vote for Hillary or.
Well, then
or-
you're a
or
moron.
She
Trump.
was
Then you're a
I'm
moron.
saying he got 2% of the vote.
She was the wrong person to run against him.
I agree, but
But-
if you had your choice between Trump and Hillary, more
Hillary
of the
all fucking
same,
day. I mean,
or this Molotov cocktail. Really?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
what the hell?
well, this is the problem with troll culture, right? I mean, because they would rather have a troll than the system,
And I
And
got
it's
it. The
like-
whole idea is like, let's burn it down.
Right?
Well, it's a little more resilient than that. We've seen it's still
but
limping
they
on.
didn't vote
It's
for
burning.
gasoline in a
It's
match. They
burning.
voted for a guy who was going to empty the coffers and take it home.
Right.
So we got a
This
con
isn't
artist.
arson,
Well, that's the
this
thing.
is
That's the thing that needs to be
robbery.
said again and again and louder. He is a con artist.
He is a con artist.
No. And I bring this up because it's so easy to call him stupid or crazy or senile.
No, he's a stupid, crazy, senile
I
con
don't-
artist. The problem is that there are
He
people
is
stupid enough to fall for
so
it.
premeditated, so clever in exactly
clever.
one
It's a-
small field of
Dude,
knowledge.
If
It's
it was
completely
clever,
transparent.
we wouldn't know about it.
But
It's
he's
not
doing it.
clever.
He's
It's
doing it.
blatant.
Because he
It's
has an
obvious.
enormous army of idiots.
It is
that he's manipulated.
Okay, no.
Because they're dumber than him.
That's all you have to be.
Stupid cousin fuckers.
My point is, not anybody could do it.
Episode is a mess.
Hold on, not anybody could do that. He
Yes, you can. You just
No.
have to be evil.
did. No. They had.
Oh my God.
No.
Mitt Romney
Here's the
was
point.
the Republican dream. He was an android built to be a
He's a
Republican.
50-year-old Ken doll.
Right. He was perfect.
Anatomically incorrect in everything.
But I'm saying is, if there
No,
was
no,
no
no.
more person more electable, and they couldn't get the job done.
Mitt Romney was not electable.
No. Here's your problem. Trump
As-
talks.
I don't want him. Believe
Okay,
me, I don't
what
want
would you
him.
say the grade level of Trump's speech is?
Kindergarten?
Exactly. Now, the mass uneducated base that he's appealing to talks like him.
Yeah, and he does
That's
ad hominem
why-
attacks.
Word
That
He does
salad.
is
bully
why
tactics.
Mitt Romney did not appeal to those people because he was just another politician.
That's what I'm trying to say.
However,
That's
the
what I'm trying to
reason
say.
that Trump has made it this far is on his platform of hate and homophobia and racism. Okay,
The people who
man-
voted for him have been hit in the head enough times to buy his shit.
I'm just saying,
Also-
not anybody could do this. He did.
Right. No, but if he was clever, we wouldn't know about it. The bottom line is it is so
Oh, no, he doesn't need to be
obvious.
smarter than us. He needs to be smarter than the people that elect him.
That doesn't seem
Pull
hard.
a kid out of high school and they could do that.
If anybody who has an evil streak in him
Shit,
could have done
pull a
this.
kid out
He-
of te-
hold
or
on.
out of eighth
There were
grade.
16 people on that stage. And the whole time they laughed at him for being on there. And everyone said he wouldn't be elected. And look what happened.
He was the only
We
one evil
underestimated
enough
how
to say the
awful
shit
our
he
country
said.
is.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. None of us wanted to believe.
Oh, I was surprised too.
How many of you wanted to believe that your, cousin or your aunt was a racist or a piece of
Well,
shit? Like,
I learned
I think
so
6
much
months
about
before
my
the election,
family.
we figured that out through Facebook.
it's like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
exactly it.
Fucking some of these people lock the children up. Fuck them. I hope they die in custody. I'm like, are you serious?
I was
what
told
the
by
fuck
a
is wrong
family
with you?
member that's not really happening and those kids
Oh, yeah,
aren't
yeah.
actually
Anything
in
really bad they
cages.
deny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Yep.
False flag.
Right.
oh,
So those
God.
pictures
You
and
can- yeah.
videos of Mike Pence actually being there.
Facts are
and,
facts.
and then
Are
what
obviously
happens
fake.
when he finally admits it or says something or whatever later on is, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it happens over and over again. I think it's happened probably 150 times to the,
Yeah.
to the people I know,
So-
and somehow they keep this cognitive dissonance going, and it's just
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I'm just saying do not underestimate this man.
I'm not underestimating shit. He has an army of idiots. I mean, that's, it's as good as being a necromancer, right? You can just raise an army of skeletons and it does the same fucking thing. They're stupid and dangerous.
Well, this is a result that was intended, though. This is why we've been dumbing down this country
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah.
so long. This is why
Oh, this wouldn't work
our
if we had free education.
system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, our education system is
Do
the
you
way
honestly
that
think
it
it's
is
that
for a reason.
Machiavellian, or is it just
Oh yes.
idiocracy?
No,
No, no, no.
The
It's-
slow decline
no.
of.
Oh, and I don't even
It's
think Trump's in charge.
intended. Okay, you know what? What is the overall overarching government agency that oversees education? Just the Department of Education?
Oh, yeah,
Or
the one
tar-
Betsy
or-
DeVos
or-
is
yeah,
in
or-
charge.
It's
Yeah.
corporate sponsored.
Oh,
Now,
sure.
corporations do not want smart people. They want worker bees. They just want you smart enough to operate a machine and do what you're told. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to question the system. They don't want you to think that you can create a rival company. They want you stupid. And that is what we've been doing since it was established. And that is why we live in a country full of stupid people that cannot compete with other countries.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
great
is
for
why we-
short-term politics, but that doesn't help us make Silicon Valley. That doesn't help us continue to innovate and make money that you can tax.
Now what they're trying to do.
No, now you buy an
You
education.
can't run a government without money, and
Yes,
we're
and
gonna.
rich people
have
have
plenty of evil
access to
billionaires.
education.
But money is of no value if it's in a few hands. It actually
Don't
gets,
tell Republicans that.
Hello, do you see how the world is right now?
money is like water. If it's stagnant, it breeds death.
Which is why people are dying
needs
every
to
day
flow.
because they can't afford to live.
And but that's what I'm saying is like, as a country, it's only going to be healthy if you have mobility.
need-
You
Yeah.
You're
have-
talking like like the right wing is smart.
You're talking like they give
No,
a fuck
I'm saying
how many
they're
people
greedy
at
and
the bottom
short-sighted.
die.
They
Our
are
s-
smart. They know how to make money. They know how to manipulate numbers and move crap around. That I mean, to this day, we're not the manufacturing capital of anything. We're largely money managers.
We're not even
That's
the-
like the number one industry.
We're
we
not
have.
the lead in anything.
We're not
Except
the lead in anything at all
It's
anymore.
bullshitting
Our country
numbers.
has dropped.
That's literally what we do for
Yeah.
a country.
Yeah.
No, our country is designed to work this way. It's designed so that the people at the bottom can never catch up. It's designed so that the people at the bottom are constantly fucked.
Well, capitalism by its nature has to exploit. It has to find somebody to make money off of. That's
that's
its
us.
inherent
That's the
nature.
rest of us.
Well, we used to
Right, and
export that.
the problem is that our system is is created in a way. Here's the thing: is that it sounds like it works, right? It seems like it works because the people who are putting in the labor and whatever, they purchase something. The money is always there to pay it back. It's a big cycle, right? It looks like it works because the money flows in both directions. Except when these businesses and industries and banks and everybody else keeps tacking on interest and interest and interest and interest, those fees and that interest is never created. It's not created by the worker. It's not created by anybody. It just forms out of nowhere, and therefore there is no possible way for everybody to always be keeping up.
Because, look,
somebody will fall off and die because of this.
Any rich person or corporation is going to try and make as much money as they can, no doubt.
They're
but the
parasites,
but
there's supposed to be laws that protect the people.
Right,
from
no, and I
vicious
get that. But the real issue is publicly traded companies. That has become a huge mainstream way that companies make money that continue to exist these days. And for a long time...
I was surprised, by the way, to find out how willy-nilly the whole thing is.
But yeah, sure, it's all speculation.
Well, and some of it, no. I mean, I've actually heard some of these guys talk about they were expected to evaluate their company, and they just come up with some number. They're like, how did you come up with your valuation? Oh, I just made something up.
I gotta
time after time. No. You've gotta. I'm telling you, I'll give you a few podcasts to listen to where they actually talk to these guys and they admit they just made it up.
But my point is that when you are beholden to shareholders, you can't have a slump. You can't have a reinvestment period or, devote this much to research and it's going to pay off in 12 years. You need quarterly returns, and it's always got to be an upward slope. And that's the problem. There is too much pressure to continually squeeze more money out of an ever-shrinking system. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, you go back in time a couple decades, you didn't have as many publicly traded companies.
So
now that's the norm.
So let me circle back around because we started this with incels, and we're going to return to this now for a moment. And they're the people being crushed, right? In the end, they have rested on the idea that they could do with what their parents did. They could do the same kind of thing.
Oh, you mean the American dream?
Right. They could pursue the American dream.
Furthermore, they think that they're entitled to it.
Well, yeah.
They sold us that. Let's be fair.
They don't see the people. They don't see the people who are actually at fault as the ones being at fault, right?
Right.
They see the brown person who took their job
choices,
or what have you. Yeah, and it's like, oh, why does this brown person have the job that I'm entitled to, right?
And it can't
why does
possibly
this brown
that
person
be
have
that
the
they
house
probably worked twice as hard for it.
Well, and regardless of the fact is that they didn't get the higher education. They didn't do anything special. Dad worked in a factory. I can work in a factory and support my family.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, prices have increased exponentially.
Unions have been busted, so those factories aren't paying the same.
Pay has stagnated. We're not making any more money than we were in the 70s. However, you're paying tons more than you were in the 70s.
Oh,
Hundreds
sure.
and
the boss
thousands of
used to make
percent more.
22 to 1. Now it's like 435 or something.
To 1,000.
Well, those are
price of
outliers. I'm talking about on average.
Is insane.
No. That's average. 2,400 something to 1.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's America. And we're the highest in the world. Japan, it's like 400 to 1. And that's the difference, and that's why Japan is sustainable and we're not. So, but that's the thing. We're blaming our neighbors. We're blaming our kids and our friends.
And that's
stuff
the
like
thing
that.
is that this party runs on the idea that as long as there's somebody else to blame, that they can do whatever the fuck they want,
but
and they have succeeded
because they bought it. Their voter base has bought it. When in reality, it is the boss, the owner, and the politician and all that who are fucking them. The corporations are fucking you, and you're blaming your friends and your neighbors and your family.
Well, because it's easier to have a scapegoat. I mean, that's what the Nazis did.
That's a faceless figure.
They were in a slumping economy, and they were looking around to the people that were making money.
Right, and they win elections based on this racist concept of point the finger that way. They'll as long as you're blaming the people of color or whoever it is. Then they can do whatever they want. They can literally swipe everything you have while you're pointing the finger at somebody next to you.
And ironically, we're deporting the brown people picking your fruits and vegetables, causing your fruits and vegetable prices to go through the roof.
Well, that and climate change. That is actually greatly impacting the growth cycles as well.
Not only that, but I've heard they can't even hire enough people to do these jobs.
No.
So now produce is rotting on the plants because they can't even have.
Which is all the worse because we're having water shortages as well.
Well,
so it's like
so mass famines are only a matter of years.
I know. I'm already seeing prices going up on produce and
So
stuff.
I would start your
Stock up on
victory
Twinkies
gardens
now. It's all you're going to be able
so
to
it's
afford.
too hot, not enough water, and then what actually is growing is rotting because no one's picking it.
Right, we're attacking our worker base and stuff like that. So and not doing anything about it. And that's your brilliant government at work.
Oh, and then the the whole tariff thing is going to make guacamole go through the roof.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
I mean, there are avocados made here in America.
Anyway, also there is. I'm just going to point this out since we're talking about the whole, people stealing their jobs and shit. There's no freaking possible way for somebody to steal your job.
All right.
There is a way for somebody to employ somebody who's not legally able to work in the U.S. That is the employer that's doing that. They have a free system. The government has a free system that every single employer can use to check every single employee that they hire to see if they're legally able to work in the United States.
So let's put blame where
Corporations, companies do this all the time. So if anybody is actually hiring people who are not able to work in the U.S., it's because they didn't take the 2 minutes to run them.
It's a real shame, but when it comes down to it, we're all pointing fingers at each other because we're next to each other when it's something much larger and more difficult to address, which is the system itself.
The
Well,
system
yeah,
is
it's
very
designed.
broken.
Look,
I mean, yeah, there's evil politicians we can
capitalism-
point at.
That's actually true. It's not really broken. It's working exactly as it was
capitalism
planned.
is the most brilliant form of slavery ever created.
With extra steps.
It is, yeah. It's slavery with extra steps. It's no joke. So you just now, instead of being provided with the home and the food and all that stuff like that, there's no guarantees of anything.
And the
You
worst
know?
part is that
You just work your life away.
if you could,
And the problem is that we're working more and more and more of our life away. When back in the day, one member of the family could work, another could stay home, they could raise their kids and whatnot, and they could still afford a house and a car and groceries.
Now you can't even get a wife or a
now
good job.
you have two people working full time.
well, that
They still can't afford a house. Groceries are going through the roof. They can't afford to send their kids to school. You're lucky. You better pray your car doesn't fucking break down. I mean,
So it's-
we're struggling. And so as a result, people are having to pick up part-time jobs. We're having to work more and more hours and more jobs. And we're having to work our entire freaking lives with no chance
Well,
for a
and
vacation.
think about this.
We don't even live anymore.
because it's what the market will bear.
But think about this. There's massive amount of frustration, and they're blaming the wrong people.
Right.
And we wonder how these mass shootings are happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This frustration is understandable.
Oh, it's understandable.
But it's aimed at the wrong people.
Absolutely.
Well, that's because the real issue
also,
is so
that's
complex
not
and
the
so
best
large.
way to handle things,
that-
obviously.
No, of
If
course
you were
it
to
isn't.
address it,
But
it'd
they're
just be
snapping. They're
hopeless.
already mentally unstable. These people were not strong enough to handle the situation they're put into.
Right. And the system is obviously abusing people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're looking in the wrong direction. There's
Eh,
so
eh.
much wrong
Well,
that
I
needs
mean,
to be fixed.
There's so many things like you were talking about two-person income nowadays. Before women's liberation and all that, and before they started really entering the workforce en masse, you had one-person income function.
Right.
But as two incomes became in, we got a few luxuries, and the standard of living changed, and we got sold a different American dream.
Well, see, this
and
is
then they busted unions. Meanwhile, houses had an average interest rate of 2%, where the banks were making 1%. So when you go forward with all this stuff and it snowballs, you begin to see what bullshit it all is. It's no one's fault. It's just
that's bullshit. It is absolutely,
it is absolutely somebody's fault.
there's not a one person's fault.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a lot
no.
of greedy
No, no,
people
it's
Not
the
your
wealthy.
exploiting a
average
system.
person.
elites.
It is the elites.
Sure.
It's
on
designed
purpose
to work this way.
to fuck you, to make
Right.
more money.
Right.
This is
This
is a new way to own people.
Yeah, this is
Because
the new
you will
slavery.
never stop working. You will never stop producing the value in this country while they exploit you.
So why participate in a system like this?
Well, that's the thing. So if you try to live a simple life, you get a simple, small condo, one-bedroom apartment, whatever. You try to live simply, and then everyone's constantly berating you, like, when are you gonna settle down and have a real
I don't
life?
listen to
When are you
anybody.
gonna do this? When are you gonna do
Yeah,
that?
no, fuck that
and then,
shit.
And then, besides your family pressures, now you got social media, and everyone's talking about it. What a wonderful life, and they got the hand of
It's
the
all fake.
yeah, and they're following each other around Bahamas and all these picturesque
That's-
scenes, and all you do is you compare yourself to everyone around you who's living this inauthentic life that they've framed, trying to
I
sell
don't
you.
know a single person that's going off to the Bahamas all the time.
Right.
It's
but
beautiful misery.
that's my point is that we are constantly being sold something we can't afford.
Fake idea. Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking
It's
about
a
the
fake
new
idea
American
that
dream.
You can go do
and
this.
it's always bigger. It's always more.
They
And you
just-
can always borrow your future from now.
Isn't-
It's just like
right. Run yourself into debt for a Disney trip.
right. Harvard. What that used to? I'm trying to remember. In this '66, it was unbelievably cheap. I think it was like $14,000 a year or something like that.
No, I don't even think it was that much.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Like they've really made sure that education is only for the elites,
Again,
and it's going to
inflated
get
over
gap.
2,000%.
That gap is going to keep going and going until nobody in middle class can afford any kind of an education.
And you're borrowing the now for the future that you hope exists.
So-
you hope that you actually pass your classes, that you still like that field of work, that once you graduate, you can find that work,
Right.
and that you're any good at it, and you don't have a midlife crisis and go, screw it, I should have did something else.
This is
Right.
why. This is
And the
why-
whole time you're paying back, and you're not allowed to declare bankruptcy on student loans.
you need
Yep,
to
it's
really
insane.
Why?
look.
Who owns those?
Yeah, Betsy
Betsy
DeVos.
DeVos.
See, we need to really look too. Okay, I mean, there are so many people who just have kids without thinking, but really, you're relegating them to a life of debt. You're having children so that they will suffer the consequences of global warming and debt and the misery that is America. That America is going to become.
Yeah, but now you're also
That
saying
America
that you're
is
too poor to be
quickly
happy.
becoming.
What's that?
Now you're saying you're being there, that you have to be a certain level of income to even afford to be happy.
Yes, you do, because you need to be able to eat to be happy.
Well, that's your
Well,
higher
okay, I will
needs.
say this for the younger generations, and this is, I think, my favorite thing about the younger generations right now,
Avocado toast.
besides avocado toast.
I could live
because
without that, but
fantastic. But anyway, the fact that they put guacamole on everything. No, seriously though, it's the fact that more and more, all of these things that people used to just expect of you, marriage and kids
Right,
and a
right.
house and all that, they're starting to say, yeah, fuck you, I can't afford
Because
any of
that's
that.
my
the
favorite
realist
article.
sees
Right.
that you can't afford that life.
Right. So that's my
how
favorite thing
millennials
about
are destroying fill in the blank.
Right.
I see that article
exactly.
every month.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
let's
it's
face
all
fact,
the time,
Fill in the
every
blank
single
is
thing.
actually destroying America.
It's because you're not paying them enough to do any of those fucking
Or
things.
because they're stupid,
but
empty
the fact
things.
that they're like, yeah, fuck your social constructs of what I should be doing and blah blah blah.
Right.
You know,
It's
like,
like diamond rings. They have no inherent value. There's a whole safe filled with them. There's beautiful mountains of diamonds. They're
Yeah, no,
not
it's
even
ridiculous.
rare. They
Why
only
anybody
live a
has a
mile underground.
diamond is
okay.
beyond me.
Also, diamonds are clear. I never got the appeal.
Yeah, why don't you just get a quartz?
It's a piece of glass.
Well, maybe
like,
sapphire.
what's exciting?
It's got almost as hard. It's beautiful.
Who
See,
cares
you
how
know-
hard it is? It's on your ring.
Well, you don't want
Who
a
gives
brittle
a shit?
gem.
It's
I mean,
clear.
No, like-
I can't say. Am I going to take a goddamn magnifying glass to my ring every day? Who
No,
cares?
there's
No,
pretty,
I'm not
there's
talking about the
pretty
appearance. I'm
stones.
talking
That's my
about
point.
fragility.
Like, why diamond?
Amethyst. Get an amethyst.
I was
pretty.
gonna say garnets are pretty.
Garnets are nice. Yeah, that's what I'm
aquamarines
saying.
are pretty.
But like, yeah, that really.
And guess
now-
what? They're way
And
cheaper.
then they do all these dumb diamonds. The canary diamond. It looks like piss. Or the
Right?
brown
The
diamond.
chocolate
Like what?
diamonds.
It's a brown diamond.
Oh,
Chocolate. It's brown.
Oh, I love
you
that
got
marketing.
A brown
I love
diamond.
that. An imperfect diamond is actually being billed at almost the same value as real diamonds. I'm like, that's your scrap that you've repackaged.
Yeah, you realize that we used to put those on cutting saws.
Like I literally, I've been on a jewelry store often enough over a few relationships. I've learned quite a bit.
Oh, no,
and
I don't do that.
I hate it because I'll either talk to an absolute expert who's like, yeah, well, that's a system, it's rigged, or a complete moron who's trying to sell me, and I know more than them, and that is just beyond frustrating.
Seeing how we're talking about complete morons, one last topic.
Well, me going to those stores spending money, but
And that is Cyberpunk 2077.
I can't wait.
Okay. Seems like a great game.
So jazzed.
And I know not all of you out there are going to get it, and this isn't necessarily about the game. What it is about a feature of the game that some people are pissed off about.
Yeah, you came to me about this.
Okay, so initially I had heard, and it sounded funny, but I was looking at message boards, and somebody was saying, I'm not getting Cyberpunk now. Screw that game. They took your gender. You're able to pick your gender before in the game. And it turns out that's not what really happened.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
can explain
not what
this.
they're mad about.
Okay. So I've been watching a lot of videos on this because I'm super jazzed. I'm probably more the gamer of the group. Loki, of course, does play a few games here
A little
and there.
bit.
But, okay. So It's a dystopian setting. So it's in the future, it's literally 2077.
Tomorrow? Oh. Okay.
And the whole concept of the game, right from the menu, which I really hope Sony doesn't, clean up because they're against nudity. It's so annoying. But anyway, right from the beginning of the menu, your character's stark freaking naked right in front of you. All throughout the game, there's posters and ads and videos of various characters with 3 mouths with, like, cream or something running down from it. A transgender model for, like, Coca-Cola or some soda product or something like that. And all it's trying to show you is the dehumanization and the utter worthlessness of the corporation's value of humanity. That is the concept that is core to the game itself. Okay? I mean, you literally have an opening mission where you're taking a naked body of this woman out of a tub of ice because someone harvested a bunch of cybernetic components out of her. Okay? You are just meat. That is the concept of the game. Now, what everyone's pissed off about is that because they had transgender characters, I hope I'm using that correctly, in the ads, and it was shown in an exploitative fashion, people are like, well, I see a male character, I see a female character, which are both named the same. V is it's just an initial. Where's the transgender option and all that? Or it's somewhere down the line.
That's not what they're complaining
about. I know. I don't know if they caved or they go, hey, that's interesting. So what they did is they decided to just go, screw it. Here's a male body. Here's a female body. We're not calling them male or female, but you can look at that and go, that's a male. You can look at that and go, that's obviously a female. You can choose whichever body you want, and then you go to the male voice or the female voice. Also not called male or female, but they sound male or female. You choose whichever voice you want. You go to your closet. There's male clothes, there's female clothes. Put on whatever the hell you want. Call it whatever you want. We're labeling nothing. Just be you. Do what you want. So they're all pissed off they can't play as boys. You literally just make a boy. It's not hard. It's 3 steps.
They're mad that we're not labeling it male or female.
That's what they're pissed about.
Because if they build their own boy, it's not as boy.
They have to be told
they're
whether
being
something is boy or girl.
They're being exclusionary by not
by not forcing people to live like them.
Yes. Yeah. What?
I think it's an interesting concept.
Why not? It's more freedom.
When you guys had mentioned this, I had imagined that there was just a non-gendered, singular physique to choose
I really
from.
hope that.
But that's kind of interesting.
I
don't know. I think it's neat. I don't understand how anybody could possibly have a problem with the fact that they have to build their own gender.
Because they're not saying boy or girl. That's why. Because they're not saying it's boy or girl.
The most ridiculous
These
and petty thing I've ever
freaks.
heard.
Oh, well, and also
out.
in the game, to my understanding, you can romance any way you want. So male, female combination, whatever.
I dig it.
And there's
what's better than freedom?
Right.
You know? And that's what this is. This is freedom.
Nobody had to tell you what your gender is, right?
And
not since you were an adult. Not since you've been gaming, certainly.
I'm a straight male who enjoys playing female characters for one reason. If I've got to look at the ass of a character for, 300 hours or so, I might as well enjoy the experience. And it's fun to put them in different clothes. It just
playing
is.
dress up with the girl figures.
How sexy can I make her while still being evil, dangerous in combat?
That's fun to me. To me, the argument is these people hate freedom, and they don't like the idea that you can be as free as you want to make your character whatever you want. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's not why I want to play the game. It looks awesome.
They're freedom-hating terrorists, is what I see.
Yeah,
I think that is ridiculous. That my body doesn't say boy on it. Does the one that you're wearing now say boy on it?
Only because I have a tattoo.
Can you tell that you're a boy?
Now, there might
the
be
label?
NPCs who reference you in such fashion.
Yes, I have a tag.
But that's on those individual characters, So it's like, I don't know. It just drives me insane. It's going right back to the incel parade or whatever. It's like, why do you care how other people want to live their life?
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't affect you.
They are the most dangerous group to America right now. So.
There's a whole lot of mass shootings that would agree with you.
Yeah, and it's mostly perpetrated by incels. That's the
other thing. You can kill a bunch of people in this game. Have fun. You can
Right.
you
Oh,
can
Lord.
be.
Stop killing people in real life and start doing it in a video game.
Can we address that while we're taking a trip back to 1980?
What, the incel shooters?
Well, the fact
The
that there weren't
president's
any.
comments about violent video games somehow affecting behavior. I mean,
No.
this is not like an
They're gonna
online
blame
thing where you're
anything
just
but-
shooting people in a circle for 20
This is my point.
hours straight. I mean,
Being Republican is about blaming anything but what's actually to blame.
What's the problem? Here's the thing. Other countries have the same video games. Other countries have mental illness. Women in America play violent video games and have mental illness, and we are not shooting shit up
Right.
99%
well,
of
the
the
counter
time.
argument would be like, well, they don't have guns. Well, I was actually
I'm
just
sorry,
watching.
Oh, other countries don't
right,
have
right.
guns?
I mean, there are a few.
Okay, well, that's only an argument to put restrictions on
But
stuff.
I was literally watching Conan
Some
Abroad.
Common sense
You know,
laws,
Conan
maybe?
O'Brien. And he, of course, went to Greenland because, Trump wants to buy it. And he's making fun of it, and it's kind of hilarious. I love his world travels. At any rate, it turns out it's very common for people to have guns over there. They need them for hunting and different whatever. I never heard of the mass shooting in Greenland.
Because they don't have entitled incel sons of bitches there. I don't know. I mean,
And
that's
that might
what
be
I'm guessing.
what it comes down to. is-
Do they have universal health care and perhaps
I think they do, actually, yeah.
perhaps, therapy options that
Oh, that's
we don't
something we
have
definitely
here?
need in America. Not only do we need universal health care, but mental illness has to be well covered.
I don't understand how optometry, dental work, and mental health are somehow electives.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need teeth or to see or to
Capitalism.
be, to
I
have
just
kind
don't
of
get that.
Capitalism.
Because
That's all I
they're
can tell you.
all relevant
Right,
to
because if
physical
you're
health.
rich, then you can afford to be
Right.
healthy.
Capitalism is a disease, period.
I don't know how you function without it, but we could definitely put certain constraints that used to exist in the 90s that
Well,
have
it's
utterly
easy.
evaporated.
You know what you do?
Yeah.
You keep capitalism, but you temper it by making sure that the
Regulations?
things that
The regulations
should be
that are
taken
supposed
care
to
of
be
are
there.
taken care of, that things are regulated properly, that out of control greed doesn't ruin your country.
And the problem is that our politicians have been selling out our country piece by piece for decades.
Well, and that's out of control capitalism. You can buy anything. Why not buy a senator?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Mitch?
And that is
Tell
the
us about it.
problem.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.